I better share this. I'm going. I do plan to play music for today, but I do need to address I guess Michael Thompson. I suppose that because in order to like make the legal process go as quickly as possible, um, we can mediate. So you're gonna have to agree to that in order for us to actually go to mediation. If you don't agree to mediation, then we have to go to court or trial. Um, I mean, I just, I don't know. I don't. Yeah, maybe this is the wrong forum for that. I don't know. I don't want to. I do want to play some music. So, but I also want to be fair to you, Michael, and let you know that I don't know that's the case. I mean, I think that I'm supposed to like basically give you abundant notice. That's like the spirit of. That's what I think the spirit of the court, like the courts wants, is like for me to give you abundant notice. And I mean, one way of serving somebody is actually publishing in like a local newspaper. I don't see why like I couldn't do it right here because it's pretty obvious that you're watching this. Like you're going to watch this. Like I think that the judge would agree that that it is extremely unlikely that you would not watch one of my videos. So it's not. I'm not trying to hide it. This is public information. A lawsuit is a public event or a public, not an event, a public. It's public that you can look up lawsuits and see what's in the docket. And so I'm not shying. I'm not actually averse to talking about the subject to the degree that it's proper for me to do so or not do so. And it's not something I want to basically like it's not a show at this point, but I do want to inform you, Michael C. Thompson. Like I want just to inform you that like we can do the mediation and you can try that. We can try that. That's an option. It's the best thing we can do is to get it done as quickly as possible. Like come to some sort of agreement. And so I'm willing to go to mediation. So, you have to actually acquiesce as well. I guess that's it. And in the meantime, I do ask that anybody that is intending to cause me any harm, please not participate in the live chat. I am a musician and I am a writer, and I have every right to live stream here under the terms and conditions. And I have the right to say I do not want to be harassed, and I do not want to be harassed, and I don't want any of it. In fact, like it's like you can answer the questions, but nothing excessive, nothing excessively rude or inflammatory at this point. It's not that it's illegal all the time to be inflammatory. It's just that it's illegal to harass people, to inflict emotional distress. So there's a huge difference between having a debate and an argument and a discussion in good faith or in any faith. I mean, honestly, in any faith. And then it's another thing to harass somebody into psychological submission, which is what I feel happened to me. And I do actually have to talk about it. I don't have a choice because I can't move forward. I cannot move forward. It's too important to me. It's gone so far. It's gone so far out of hand. It did way back in 2021. It did way back like by April it had gotten way too far. And then by May it gotten way too far. And then every minute past that was unacceptable levels of harassment, unacceptable. And the only reason I did not file a lawsuit sooner was because I did not know how, and it caught, and I learned, and so and it took me a while actually, even like just finding that I had to submit. It's just I figured it out. I finally did. Uh, and this is after so much prompting. Like, honestly, I don't know. Like, it's at this point, it's not. It hurts. It hurts to think that people are like that think I'm like completely out of my mind. It totally hurts. It doesn't just hurt. It's like devastating. It's devastating to think that my voice means like nothing, and that uh that the truth means nothing, and that like I mean, and then that's just like a defamation. I mean, I'm talking about the harassment was the worst part probably of it. I'm somewhat like, I people misunderstand me sometimes, and that's true. Uh, but like I've never been harassed like that before. Like never in my life. No, never in my life have I ever been harassed that way. Uh, but like and so oh it was irrational. It was like I do not want to interfere with any of this process that's happening. So I don't think that me telling you the truth about what happened is actually interfering with that process. I think like uh okay. It hurt like every single time. Every single time you hurled like an insult or something. Uh when especially like the nastier the worse, but like it hurts. It really hurts. And you're not really anonymous. I mean, it's like people remain anonymous, I think, because they don't want to get in trouble. But like like you made it very obvious that it was you, and then there was people that were like in your group, and it was obvious. Like, I mean, it was obvious. And I very rarely uh participated in your uh is he online? I'm not gonna be addressing the live chat at all. Okay. Uh, but I'm gonna finish telling this, and I'm probably gonna tell this story more than once. Um, I 2 years prior to making the video, I think it was on January 28th, 2021, that I made a video saying that it might have been titled Michael Thompson is a bully. And in it, I said, Michael Thompson, you're a bully. Stop bullying people. It's like, stop doing what you're doing to Justin Ray Lewis. And I said the words, come on, bring it. I was saying, bring it on at me. Like, deflect, like, come on. Like, bully someone your own size is basically what I was saying. And uh, while I understand how a person might Well, like, okay, fine. So return and like, right? Uh, but the thing is, there's a it becomes compounding when you incessantly do it, and when it goes on for long periods of time. At that point, it's not. It's actually like far beyond what you have done and participated in and perpetuated. Goes far beyond the what could be considered a fair discussion or even a rational one. Uh, uh, and the tactics that were used were like worse. The tactics that were used were absolutely scary. I was absolutely afraid for my life. I was afraid for my life the day I checked in to the motel. I was afraid for my life. And I believe that there was a video that was posted that day. And I believe it mentions I believe that in the title it may have said hotel or motel. I think there may have been a video from that day that was released. I believe the video I'm referring to was actually deleted or changed out. But I saw a video that day that was on one of the channels that had a funeral procession. Uh, and I thought I was going to be assassinated, like by like people associated with Michael Thompson, uh, because there it was. I think it was just too much. It was too much. It was too much in my head. It was like there's too many. It was scary. It was scary. It was scary. It is scary actually. It's not that it was scary. It still is scary. I'm still terrified that Michael Thompson is gonna like show up in my chat and do something manipulative. Uh, and often it will be very subtle at first, and I won't even recognize it. Uh, and then and then something will happen where the person will sort of turn or I don't like honestly. There's two people that have participated in the chat today, and I actually believe both of them are. I don't believe either of them are people that like me or that have my best interests. And the reason why I think that is because of Michael Thompson's channel and his video and his friends and him. It's because of him. It's because of him. 100%. He led the march. He perpetuated so many lies about me, so many lies, and so many of his friends came in and they what is colloquially known as gang stalking. They gang stalked my channel every day for months, for months, for months. Like it may be over a year. It was definitely like 9 months at least. And yeah, it was well into like when I was in rehab. I had apologized. I literally tried every single tactic to stop this sort of like I'm not giving up my YouTube channel just because somebody wants to bully me. But I'm not giving it up or this whole platform. I'm a singer and a songwriter and a writer, and I will not just give up my YouTube channel. Okay. I don't know how else I could have dealt with what happened. I can't really think of a way. And there are things that I did because nobody quite understood exactly what was happening. I believe I did tell people. I told a lot of people. I did tell the police. I told the police several times. I called the police in Houston. I talked to the police here several times. They came here. The police. There's video of them here, and I am trying to tell them that there's somebody that is stalking me online, okay? And I'm not sure what they should have done. I don't know. I'm not the judge, but they didn't write it. I don't recall them even writing it down. I don't think they did. Uh, it's possible that the Houston Police Department has a record of it. And I have a record of it happening here. And like, if people want to say, well, why didn't you call the police? If you want, like, well, I did. Well, not only did I, but they were called here, and they were here, and it was right here in my chat like, it was right over there. A stream of insane of bullies. Like, they were people that were there to fuck with my head. And I don't even, they may have even called. I don't even know. It was just, and at the time I had, that January, it's funny because in January 2021, I did get diagnosed with ADHD, and I started to look into it, and I started to see what were the symptoms of ADHD, and I looked, and a lot of them I had, like, it was sort of like a moment where I realized at 30, I was 34 at the time, like, oh, this is very possible that I have ADHD, and that's why I've had troubles, like sustaining a job, and uh, uh, even communicating, like, like ADHD makes sense, and at the time I was still learning about what it meant to even have ADHD. And while it's a syndrome and it's not something that's diagnosed the way that, like, cancer or like something that can be observed, or even coronavirus, it's a syndrome. And if you have enough of the qualities of the syndrome, then you are diagnosed as having ADHD. And then the only medication that they basically have are stimulant. Like, the only effective, if you look at the data, it's strongly in favor of stimulant medication treatment for ADHD people. And without it, that there are consequences to living with ADHD without being medicated. And those consequences are shortened lifespan. I read this in an article, and they're like decreased, like, work, like employment, bad employment history, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot. And also with, I told people in 2021, I said I have ADHD, and I actually even said, that might be why I can't control this argument, but, like, please, I have ADHD. Please, like, have a bit of mercy on me, so that, like, don't, like, you can take advantage of me, because I have, like, an issue with with impulses. And if you're going to be provoking impulse after impulse after impulse of pain or anger or shame or shock, I mean, at some of the things that were posted, and some of the accusations that were posted, just shock, utter shock. Like, why is this happening? Like, what is happening? I didn't realize, like, when I spoke up for Justin Ray Lewis, I actually did not realize how bad it actually was, not even by a long shot. And, like, that is horrifying to me, because I know that other people have been the victim of this person. I know that they have. And honestly, I'm like, it's just that's it. And that's the story. And that's the story. And Michael Thompson himself will make a claim that I didn't like him from the start, that I just, like, met him in CW Changer's chat room, or in the chat we were in, and I immediately didn't like him. And that is not true. I did realize he did not like me in the very first meeting. I think I was insulted. I'm not positive what was said. I believe I was insulted. I think. I didn't really. I mean, I guess I mean, it sucked. It hurt my feelings, of course. But like, I mean, what was I gonna do about it? Like, I wasn't like, there's nothing. So I did nothing about it at that point. And then at some point, I bought his book online. I purchased a copy in order to. I've said this before, to support him, because I wanted to support him as a writer, and I hoped that we could mend any issue, even though I didn't do anything. I did not do anything to merit, except for maybe talk over people, which is a symptom of ADHD and something that I understand better now. But I saw him making a show with this person who was like having a mental breakdown, and it really stuck with me for 2 years. It stuck with me. I don't even want to go on much long with this because I'm literally like at my limit with this, and but I'm gonna keep on track. Okay, so I saw that video, and I think it was a blonde girl. I think she was like crying on the floor in like front of her house, or maybe on the side of a house or garage or something like that. And Michael was just like spewing expletives and really angry, mean things about this girl. I saw it. I was horrified. Didn't say anything for like I guess until I made the video that said Michael Thompson is a bully. And I made that video because I knew that he was literally harassing people badly. I knew it, and I didn't say anything. And I realized, like, oh, I know. And then it came back up, and I thought, I know it, and I have to say something. I have to say something because I saw what was happening, and it looked painful. And I absolutely. That's when I said something, and I said something, and I said I used a colloquial, fighting words. You could even say that. Like I said, hey, look at me. Like, look at me. Like, don't do this to Justin. Like, don't do it, right? And I was, like I said, I did not understand that Mr. Thompson's character was like this. Like, I understood vaguely based on those data points. Justin, a kid I saw that around that time that I actually said something, and then the girl from 2 years prior. And so those are like the two data points I have about this person, who also was very kind of rude to me, and obviously didn't like. Who also actually, I did say on Twitter a couple years before that he was a bully, and I got back like 10 tweets, and they were crazy. To me, I thought they were crazy. They were deranged and assault. It was an assault of tweets. But I didn't report that to police. I just ceased communication at that point. And I think that it really is scary. I think somebody has to say something about people like that, and I did, and I do not take that back. But I also did not ask for what he did, and in fact, I don't really understand if the law permits an individual to ask for such an assault in any way. I don't think that could be asked for, because if you do it, you've still done it, and it's not a play, and it's not a show, and we don't hang out, and we don't have a relationship outside of anything that happens here. So there's no me and Michael Thompson have never had a personal discussion ever without there being a live stream going on. And I do not generally participate in any of his live streams. I did a couple of times in order to try and mediate the situation and prevent it from escalating. It was absolutely impossible to discuss with him anything at all. He is irrational. I will show. There is evidence of this. This is not. Take my word for it. It's irrational. It's not. It's unjust and it's cruel. What happens when? And I have friends who. I have a friend, York Underwood, who lives in Iceland, who asked Michael to stop doing this. And I think Michael told him to shut the fuck up. And then, that was it. And now Michael has actually threatened to go after York Underwood. It's funny. The level of depravity of Mr. Thompson is so unfamiliar and foreign to me that I didn't even realize that he threatened York Underwood, my friend, and because he put his name in one of his videos, and the point is, I would never ever stand by if anyone in my family or any one of my friends or anybody I loved. I would never ever just stand by and let what Mr. Thompson did happen. I would never. I'm shocked that I was unable to. I was unable to relay the distress that I was in, to the right person at the right time. I couldn't I couldn't regulate, I guess you would say, my emotions. I couldn't do it. But I knew that. I couldn't. I actually knew that. And that's why I begged. That's why I begged. I begged and I pleaded for it to stop. And honestly, I was just harassed. This is not. So if you want to go through all the videos of mine and see every interaction or every time that I mention, I did not know that a lot of these aliases were him, and I did not know that they were his friends at the beginning. For about the first month to 2 months, I did not even realize that there was something going on. And then I saw the Hollywood Laughingstock channel. I think I saw it in March or April. I'm not positive, but I didn't know that it was going for about a while. When I first saw it, I think there was about 67 videos. I'll say that that's what I remember the number being 67. There were already 67 videos up, and it had been and I'm not going to be threatened anymore. And that's why I'm addressing this on my channel, and I don't have to explain why I'm addressing anything on my channel. I'm absolutely entitled to tell my story on my channel the way it happened, truthfully, without defaming anybody. And defaming can happen to people who are not famous. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of what has gone on. I'm sick of the fact that I couldn't. YouTube did not help me. I'm sick of the fact that nobody really was able to help me. And it may very well have been because I just could not regulate my emotions and say what was happening in a rational way. It seemed to people that I was saying it for attention, or I had a lot going on that year. I had a company called Game Check, and I had a friend who owned a company who was willing to pay for the company, and I would be the CEO with my cousin, Joey. We actually had that going. I believe it went down around somewhere around April is when things started to go bad. Maybe even later than that. Especially when the things with Mr. Thompson went bad. I told Mr. Thompson this. I told him about all of this. I told him, and he would proceed to call me a liar and suggest that I was crazy and making it up. And I'm saying it now because I have proof. I have proof of all of these things, 100% proof. And I don't have to think about it because it's the truth. And so I'm willing to say the truth. And I hope that the court system isn't too drained by this. But if you want to mediate the situation, Michael, you're gonna have to take the summons. You're gonna have to answer it. You can answer it however you would like, and you're gonna have to either agree to the mediation or not. And if you don't, then then we have to go to court. And that's what's happening. Period. And that's it. And that's the situation. And I'm not gonna go any further in. And that is what happened. That is the very detailed situation. So I think that's all I'm gonna do for today. There's already like several aliases in the live chat today that I know are associated with Mr. Thompson's account. One is called Philith Toddeth. One is called Avery. Well, I don't know if Avery Wilford. I don't know if that person. It looks like that they probably are involved with Michael Thompson. It looks like everybody that comes onto my YouTube channel is associated with somebody who mounted a incessant, cruel, self-professed attack on me. He admits it so many times, and that's basically everybody that comes on. And I'm not willing to give up my YouTube channel at all. And the court, I would ask the court evaluate my potential at success in the entertainment industry. I would ask that they look at my history, the mentions I have in the press, my Spotify account. I would ask that they look in everything and see if, in fact, I was building up towards quite a good year in 2021, and potentially it was snatched from me. Or at least it is definitely the case that it was very negatively impacted by somebody, a particular individual who did a particular set of things, who I can no longer ever be silent about. And Michael Thompson, I am not going to be silent until my restraining order is goes through, then I can be silent. When my restraining order, if it doesn't go through, I'm gonna appeal it. But like I will not be silent about it. And there's nothing that can be done either. I'm not going to be silent about it until if the TRO doesn't go through and the courts decide that Mr. Thompson's actions were lawful, well, then I'm gonna continue speaking about this because it has hurt me badly, and people need to know. And also, I'm taking back my YouTube channel. I'm taking back my name, Todd Michael Schultz. I'm taking it back because I own it, and I didn't do any of the dumb shit that you said I did, or that any of you have said I did. I do my best to be a good person. I do my best to be generous and giving, and that's it. And there's a lot of accusations that are made that are extremely damaging. So That's it. I can't play music. It's not really fun when this has been a topic. That's it. Michael Thompson, if you want uh, I mean, look. I don't know. I don't like want you emailing me particularly, but if you tweet me, if you want to settle, you want to talk about a settlement, you can tweet me and I'll fill out the forms for the mediation and we can prepare for that when the judge hears the motion, which will probably happen next week at the latest. And that's it. Okay? I mean, thank you.